Stakes cut from ancient oak. Spear carved from heart of blackthorn tree. And this, chopping off his head.
Chopping off his head.
Chopping off his head.
It kind of sounds like an ASMR video, like when it first comes in and then chopping off his head.
Just made me think of like kids. I'm crushing your head. I'm crushing your head.
Oh, welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes from 1970 onwards. I'm your host, Sam, and with me are my co-hosts,
Mike
and
Chad.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our handle is @ScreamStreamPod. Also, check out our website, screamsandstreams.com, for more information about the films we're looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend that you stop listening now, check out the film, and rejoin us for our discussion. Today's film is the best film of its year, 1991, and we're looking at Ted Nicolaou's Subspecies. It scored 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, so let's get into it. Chad's going to start us off with our summary.
All right. The evil vampire villain Radu returns to his hometown Pranar after spending years in exile. He steals the precious Bloodstone, which is said to be bleeding from All Saints, from his father, and kills him. Meanwhile, two American schoolgirls team up with a local girl for work on the Romanian culture. Radu becomes attracted to them, but runs into trouble when his brother, Stefan, helps the girls.
Ooh.
All right.
Yep,
that's it. Okay.
That's what's going on. Thanks for that, Chad.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
Rated R for vampire violence and nudity.
I saw that. Vampire violence and nudity. All right, Mike, let's see our sinister sip. What are we drinking today?
Today's cocktail is a Transylvania martini from nosychef.com. And I just want to shout out to Alex and David from Willow Park Spirits for recommending a passion fruit sake instead of a passion fruit liqueur for this.
Oh, cool.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Passion fruit doesn't really pop.
No.
No. Something's in there. What is it?
Vodka, passion fruit, sake, and pineapple mango juice.
Am I tasting the sake more?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a go-to.
No, it's also a craft distillery vodka that pushes the line to moonshine taste-wise.
Oh, so it's a bit boozy then.
Maybe
Yeah. So that's what we're probably tasting.
It's shitty vodka.
Pushes
like,
the
what
line
is
to
it?
moonshine.
What is this? But it's good.
That's only used for two things: stripping engine parts, and getting drunk.
Really quickly.
But yeah, I think with a smoother vodka, the passion fruit might come through a bit more. But yeah,
it's got a good the aftertaste is kind of nice.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, because I think the passion fruit comes through in the aftertaste more than it does in the initial sip. You taste the booze, and then the rest of it kind of comes in after. Yeah,
and it was warm. Like my belly's warm.
That's the moonshine.
Okay, thanks for that, Mike. Now we're going to look at our first impressions. Chad, what did you think watching this film?
I don't know. I was excited at first because I thought it was going to be. I like vampire films, but it just it's shit. It's just not good. I don't know why they gave it so high. Like, it's just the effects are bad, the acting's bad, the storyline's old. I didn't find any of the gore particularly endearing, or like the fights were, I just didn't like it. I didn't enjoy the film. I didn't like the characters. Thought the girls were kind of stupid. And just didn't like it.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
No. XXX.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that, Chad. Mike.
So just to give our listeners a bit of information, originally we were going to do a movie called Poison, because when I was doing research, that was what I thought was the best film for horror in 1991. And it was 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. I watched it. It's not a horror film. So then I went back, then I found this with 83. I'm like, oh, it's rated even better. Perfect. And yeah, first time I watched it. I mean, I don't mind vampire films if they're done properly. This was painful, stupid, ridiculous. It felt like like after school special fever dream. I don't know, like Stefan's coats and hair just.
Oh yeah, it's too
like,
much.
yeah, it was very of its time. I don't know.
Radu was just too much. Those fingers, like I don't want to spoil anybody's categories, but fuck sakes.
Yeah. So I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Nope, that's fair. I didn't write anything for this category. I just missed it. But the only thing that's written down is I don't think I like vampire movies.
Yeah.
I thought I did, but I watched this and I was like,
Yeah, maybe I don't either. I thought I did too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No, and this was not a fun one. So my husband doesn't usually watch these movies, but occasionally he'd be like, all right, you got to do this for the pod.
Right.
I'll sit with you. Let's hang out, spend time together. So I gave him the list and he's like, well, which one's the best of the ones? And I was like, well, 2 that we're recording are anyways. And so I was like, this is the best one. And then after it ended, he sat there in silence and was like, that was the best. That was the best. I was like, yeah. And he's like, whoa.
I feel like the 90s are going to be a bad decade. Like,
oh wait, didn't we say that about the 80s?
Yeah, we kept trying to claw our way out of the 80s. But
It's like, oh, I can't wait to get to the 90s. And then we get to the 90s and Subspecies happens. Like,
yes.
and 94 is going to be an interesting year.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be negative. Like,
right.
I think we're going to find some gems, but this was not one.
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. So, yeah, I don't think I like vampire movies is my takeaway. Okay, we're going to move into our Tropes Hall of Shame. Mike, you had quite a few. Why don't you kick us off with your first?
All right. So my first one is just torches in a castle and the candelabras and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it kind of reminded me back to Scream, Blackula Scream, but the birthright of the firstborn.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Like when he's killing his father, like, this is my right and I must take it. And I was like, yeah.
You're not worthy. Yeah.
Thanks to those. Mike, Chad, what'd you have?
My first one was menacing cryptic old man. In this one, it's the landlord.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing here?" Like it's just,
I put no nonsense local. Greets
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
you will die. Ooh. And what room are we staying in?
Okay, don't go in the attic. Oh, okay. I'm going to go anyways.
And then I had a lot of time, like big buildups to certain things, and then you open the door and nothing's there.
Yeah.
Like round the corner and nothing's there. Like it's just one of the templates in a horror film where it's okay, we got to build this tension and then nothing's there. I think The Conjuring does it really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that movie ruined it for me with these older ones, but these ones do it all the same way.
Yeah.
It's all with the music building and the slow walking and then papa. Oh, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I wish it wasn't used as much.
Yeah.
It's a lot, yeah. All right. I had the Historical Society like owns or looks after a haunted or spooky building.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And then taking a shortcut through the woods.
Yep. I had that.
When,
Oh, yeah.
when you're not a local and you don't know.
Don't know the woods? Yeah.
Or any shortcuts or like maybe not even the way there.
Yeah.
So those are my first
Let's
two.
go through here.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like crazy. Mike, what about you?
My next one is the old woman warning them to stay away from the ruins,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and an organ in an old castle or fortress.
Fair. They're hard to move.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Oh my goodness. Chad.
Yeah, I just had one more, and it's showing the implement of death before the death. So, like, they're always showing, like, the stakes or how the people are going to,
Yeah.
like, the little thing on the side before they're going to get killed. So,
Yeah.
I had that one.
I also had animals sensing something, and this one was the horse.
Oh, yeah.
For that. And of course, the fog, my favorite.
Oh, yes, the fog.
So much fog.
And then, Mike, I think you had quite a few. You can list off all yours.
One I wrote was just every vampire trope. So that covers a lot of mine.
That's fair.
And then the shadow of the killer on the wall and victim's face prior to their attack.
Oh, yeah.
And my last one is just the vampire falls in love with a human, which I guess could have fallen under every vampire trope.
Yeah. Well, there's also the one, and I didn't have this one written down, but it's like the one group, like Stefan or Stefan. It's Stefan, right?
I assume Stefan.
Yeah. Anyways, he's always, we can coexist with the humans. We can live with the humans. And the other guy, we should dominate the humans.
Right,
They're our prey and all that stuff. And So that's
plot of
always done.
Twilight.
Yes.
Literally.
That and the Howling and X-Men and whatever else we've.
Yes. All the things. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Okay, our one-liners. I found there weren't very many in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, I laughed when you said that the 3 students were dumb.
Yes.
Because the one line I have is, we're smarter than we look. So that was kind of funny. And then the other one, it's not really the line itself, but when the 3 of them are lost in the woods and the bad Radu is kind of like lurking around, and they run into Stefan. They're like jogging a weird jog. They run into Stefan and they're like, oh my gosh, we thought we saw something out there. And I was like, you mean the actual fucking vampire that's sitting perched in that tree?
Yeah.
And is literally like the lights went on him. Like they all looked and saw him and then they started jogging. It's like, we think we saw something out there. It's like, yeah, a whole ass
Well,
man.
you did see something out there.
Creepiest motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are my only 2. Chad, what one-liners stood out to you?
Yeah, I had one, which I talked about at the beginning before we started the podcast, when they climb up to the attic and there's coffins and everything. Oh, it's just an old storage space, but there's like a bunch of like menacing shit in there.
Yeah.
So there was that one. My other one was, it was between Stefan, who works with the landlord, like the old dude, like to try to tame Radu or whatever. And he says, she makes me want again.
Oh, yes.
And then the old man says, she has your mother's eyes. I was like, that's fucking gross.
Yeah.
So weird. So,
And
yes.
Stefan's like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that in What the Fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Is that like the one thing he's like, I want her. And it's like, she looks like my mom.
Yeah.
Like, when he's staring into her eyes out of all the things. It's not like, oh, they're both like blonde. It's like, no,
it's like
they have the same
They
eyes.
have the same eyes. All right, then. We're
Whatever
just
you're
gonna
into.
I guess that floats your boat there, Stefan. I don't know what vampires
Yeah, I
to
don't
do.
He's had a long time to figure out what he wants in a
That's
woman. That is what he chooses. All right, Mike, what did you have?
The first one I had, and I thought, Sammy, you were about to pip this one from me because just talking about the girls are not so bright, but they're driving and there's the funeral procession.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, wow, it's a parade.
Yeah.
They're clearly
It's clearly a funeral. And then they just sit there as everything like floods around them. And it's like,
Yeah.
so awkward.
It is very
and it
awkward,
lasted for a long time too.
And then my last one is in Transylvania. The best wine is red, blood red.
Ooh, yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Ugh. Like I said, I don't think I like vampire movies.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move into what doesn't hold up. You guys only had one thing that didn't hold up in these categories?
I think I gave up.
I just
You
wasn't.
just get one, you're like,
I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to say one comment that blankets a lot of the movie. So
Okay.
I know there's a lot that doesn't hold up.
okay, why don't you kick us off then, Chad?
Okay. Well, what doesn't hold up was, first of all, the special effects.
Yes.
Radu's face looks just
It's
stupid.
like early Buffy the Vampire.
Yeah, it's made for TV movie kind of thing. It looks cheap. When they cut his fingers off
Oh.
and they turn into these little 3 demons that do his bidding, I was like, what is happening? What are these things? And that special effect was so poorly done.
Oh,
It
it's
looks
so bad.
like they're walking on weird parts of the floor.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't gel well.
No.
So my biggest one was the special effects. I mean, we can go into other stuff, but I want to leave something for everybody else. So I'm going to say my big one was the special effects.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. I called the little finger men the finger fetuses, and then because they were like little fetuses when they started to like
I know
morph and
these
change.
little slugs that just kind of
yeah,
turned into
and they
these
turn into the weirdest like shittiest effect little.
naked demons
Yeah.
that are running around
I
showing
called them
their ass.
the naked finger minions. Is the next level once they transform from fetus. So,
Naked finger minions. That's amazing.
Mike,
I think with Chad, like this movie, if I'd have started listing everything that doesn't hold up, it would be 3 pages of notes of just every aspect. So I just had the blood demons as well.
Yeah.
they're
So bad.
when they're walking, it's like they're like moonwalking
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, it's that bad. Like the animation doesn't have them move forward, but the
Yeah.
feet slide. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So bad.
I wish they would have done something like Army of Darkness and just at that point just use stop motion.
Those were stop motion.
Oh, It was done poorly.
So I can get into the research on them a bit.
Sure.
If you like.
Go ahead.
well.
Yeah.
So originally they had constructed oversized sets and they were going to have dancers in costumes as the demons.
Right.
But it just became it became costly, even though in Romania everything was cheap and it just didn't quite look right. So then the director got the stop motion done, and he does talk about how like the matting of the stop motion capture and the set doesn't quite jive, but he loved them. And
He loved them?
he does keep going on like they're great. Those are the subspecies from the title. And originally this movie and all subsequent sequels were supposed to focus more on them. But because everyone responded more to the vampire side of it, they just made it into a vampire franchise.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's like, why the fuck is this called Subspecies? Because those are what those demons are. But they became back players to the rest of the
But
plot.
why would you make that your main thing? Like things that come from your fingers, and then you don't know. First of all, you don't know why they formed, because this is the first time I've ever seen something form out of a vampire that's been cut off.
Yes.
Right? So you don't know why they're there. They kind of do his bidding, but they're just around.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say they're central to any part of the film. They just kind of help out.
Yeah.
I think had they not switched to the vampire, there would have been more maybe in the sequels.
Focusing on
Yeah.
them.
Because he was, I think Nicolaou is like, I don't know if he directed Puppet Master, but he's directly connected to Puppet Master. The studio is.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was hoping to have like a Puppet Master Ghoulies-esque film.
I was going to say it does remind me a bit of the Ghoulies, because the Ghoulies
Yeah.
are also kind of just there,
Yeah.
just chilling.
Yeah.
Like really, yeah. They're yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
They do kind of remind me of the little ripped ghoulie that I liked. The one with the little green one in the toilet.
Yeah.
A little
The
bit.
bald one.
The one with the 6-pack or 8-pack. That one.
Extremely buff ghoulie.
Impossibly so.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think the special effects were awful. I had quite a few notes on those. What you said, Mike, was kind of interesting, where you said that that's where they kind of pivoted. Like it was supposed to be those. Because then it's true. Like when you were doing the summary, Chad, you kind of said it was like the brothers going against each other.
Yeah.
And then it was so hard for me to be like, is that in the past? And are we now in the present?
Right.
Like, and because it looked old as shit too. So that was kind of confusing. And then it turned into like a weird love story as well. So there's a lot going on, I feel.
Yeah.
But the one thing I really disliked was there was no context to the blood of Saints Rock. Like,
Yeah.
where I want to see a movie on that. Like, how do you get, what is this rock?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And why is it never
always bleeding? And
why is it always bleeding? I want to know a little bit more. They gave zero context. They just slurp out of it a little bit and then pop it away.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
know.
much it. I also said it seemed really slow. I already mentioned how old the film looked as a whole, especially the opening scenes like that.
Yes.
The fight and
It
when
looks
the father
very
dies.
ancient.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
It's so bad. I also felt like they used the same scenes over and over again.
I
Like
have
this-
that later
Yeah.
on.
yeah, so I'm like, this is crazy. I put the makeup of Radu as awful. And then I also said what doesn't stand up is taking pictures of other people's children. It was on their adventure. They're going out into the community and they're taking pictures of the kids playing. I was like, that doesn't hold up. That's weird.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. All right, now we're going to move into what was most gratuitous for each of us. Mike, what was most gratuitous for you?
Radu's long fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's mine too.
Like, I don't know if they were going for a Nosferatu look, but it just was comically long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with those fingers? Like,
Yeah.
you can't. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Chad, what about you?
I had the finger birthing. I had that as one. And then I also had, this goes with your using the same shots over and over. The horse freaking out at the festival. It just seems like it was always like rearing up and then they'd show it again and it was doing it again. And then I was like, they're using the same shot over and over and over again. And it's of this horse that's getting upset. Like, I don't know why we're seeing this so much. So yeah, that was another one of mine.
I agree. I thought that the whole party scene or the festival scene was way too long. So I thought that was gratuitous, and the horse scene as well included in that.
Yeah.
So I had that. I had the fingers. Radu's drool
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
yeah.
So that was gross. And then my last one was there's a lot of walking around in this film. So
Yes.
the transportation, I think, and then I was like, but the car ride was too long too.
Yes, I had
so
that too,
They spent a
yeah.
lot of time walking around and driving around.
Too much driving with intense music that goes nowhere.
Yes. That will sum that up for me.
Yeah.
So bad. Okay, now we're going to look at what was terrifying or titillating. Mike, what was terrifying or titillating for you?
Nothing was terrifying. And then my titillating comment, or my comment on the titillating side of it, was just, like, I guess, gratuitous nudity, but like, why expose her breasts? And then, like, Radu's a perv. And like, just Mara's nipples being out for no reason.
I like that the rips were like perfectly
Just down the nipple line.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just, I got a little bit bigger at the nipple and then went back. It's just ridiculous.
And the director in the commentary comments on that scene far too many times to be comfortable. It's,
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't like that. My titillating, I just said like Stefan was kind of hot compared to everyone else in the movie. So
There wasn't a lot of people to draw from.
no, and especially like Radu, the old
Radu's
guy,
all
the
messed
like
up, yeah.
the housekeeper, the guy who created them. Like there's not slim pickings, but I said he was decent. So. Okay, now we're going to look at what stood the test of time in this film. I said that I liked the architecture that they used. So this actual setting, even though they reused a lot of the scenes, I actually liked the architecture and the scenes, but I found that was okay. And then Mike, you kind of said like everything was very stereotypical vampire movie. I said they stayed pretty true to vampire lore, I think. So I said that was something that was good. Chad, what did you have?
Yeah, I kind of like the props. Like the coffins looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to agree with you. Like the setting looked, pretty good. I like that they shot it in Romania. That was kind of nice. And some of the cinematography was really nice. So I enjoyed, I guess, the pictures of it. I think it could have been told in a slideshow and not necessarily in a movie. But certain parts looked really good other than like the overall old look of the film, like the setting and the cinematography and stuff stood the test of time for me.
Nice. Mike, what did you have?
My first comment that I had was the festival masks.
Yes.
When at the big party at the end kind of thing. I thought those were great. They were very original. And in the commentary, they was like, those were made by local people and drew a lot on Romanian folklore. So
Nice.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's good.
yeah,
What was that party, by the way? Was that,
I don't know.
was it tied to the human truce or no? That was just a different person?
I think it might have just been like a fall festival. I don't know.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
And-
interrupted you, Mike.
No, it's okay. And my other one was just the arm wound when it's like festering and bloody. And
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was good effects for that.
That does look
Yeah.
actually pretty good. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for those. None of us had any laugh out loud moments.
Well, I'll just say this one. It was when the old man is kind of saying what he's going to do. Like I summarized it and I said, tomorrow we will find his coffin while he sleeps and I will put both barrels to his chest and shoot him with, and then I have shoot him with blah, 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 blah. And then we will cut his head off.
I really wanted to cut off his head.
Chopping off his head.
Yeah, so as he kind of went down and explained everything, then his last line, like, and then we'll cut his head off, I kind of laughed. So I thought that one was pretty good.
Perfect. Thanks for that. All right. Now we're going to move into what was eerie or ear splitting. Chad, why don't you tell us what
Well, I just thought overall the 80s music was so cheesy in this film.
Yeah.
It was just too much, and I didn't really like it. I think it added to why I think it seemed like a made-for-TV movie. It seemed like it wasn't very well done. So, no, I didn't like the music in this film.
Yeah, I had the same note. The music was a bit too much, and I think it made it seem longer.
Yeah.
Those scenes, because it's like they're trying to do a whole song
Yeah.
in the driving
And they're
scene. I was like, oh
driving
my
it out.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, it
We
was
paid for the
brutal.
rights and we're using it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Use the whole song.
Every little bit. Yeah.
And then the stabbing noise was awful when Radu stabs his father.
Oh,
The noise really
Oh,
bothered
yeah.
me. It was just gross and like just poorly done. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that.
So not scary, but just sounded stupid.
Sounded
kinda.
stupid. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to look at moments that made us say, what the fuck? And Mike, you're going to start us off.
mine was just the vampire comes out when the sun is clearly still up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, were they trying to do the whole, like, in the old Westerns when they clearly shot in the daytime and they would just like bring the exposure down? But they forgot to do that side of it? Or are they just saying, nope, vampires can walk around when the sun's out? I have no idea. So what the fuck?
Yeah, I thought that was confusing because it goes against like Stefan's only out at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Radu's only out at night too. And then that changes, right? And he's there at like dusk.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. But then he has to get back to his coffin.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So
Yeah.
weird. Chad, what'd you have?
I thought the Bloodstone looked like a nipple.
Well, that's when I was like, they're
So,
slurping on it.
I was like, what the fuck? Like when they're drinking the blood, it just looked weird.
So weird. When the dad was doing it, it was
It is.
it's like on the side of his mouth. I was like, oh my god,
It just looks bad.
It's so bad.
So I had that. And I also had just one note. Those girls, when they drive out, they just fall asleep in the woods there.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was
right.
super
With
weird.
like just their clothes, they have nothing. They just roll up a shirt or whatever and are sleeping. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, what the fuck is happening here?
Well, I thought, wasn't it because the girl who got bit, she was starting to feel tired and faint?
Well, maybe.
And then so they're like,
yeah.
okay, we'll take a
We'll have
break
a
here.
nap
But
here?
still, like
Yeah.
that was a long nap.
They
None of them
slept a
took-
while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, I had the finger fetuses. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, what
Yep.
the fuck is that? I've never seen that before. Yeah. All right. Did anyone have any back it up moments?
No.
No.
Back it
No.
up for this one.
I
No.
just couldn't wait to get it over.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna look at what was hiding in the shadows. Mike, what was hiding in the shadows for you?
This was just a thing that irritated me. So this was before, like I hadn't really read the summary, so I didn't know that Stefan and Radu were brothers. But when he's at the festival, he's wearing a not houndstooth jacket, but it's white and gray speckled. It's clearly a lighter color jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And then later when he goes back to the place where the three women are staying and he speaks with, I don't know, one of them, let's say Lillian, and he's wearing a completely different jacket. And I was like, and that's where we find out that he's Stefan, the brother of Radu. And I was like, and I'm like, is it a different actor? No, it's the same actor. Why a different coda? Is he playing two different people? Like I just got so lost in that moment.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah.
It was really confusing, and they look nothing like each other. So,
No.
Well, and why does he have the evil face and Stefan has the good face? Like,
Are they half siblings?
Is it the evil of Radu that makes him look like that, or what?
Maybe he's twisted. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't care enough.
Okay.
Either
Yeah.
to
Well,
look
I
into
just
it.
thought, I was like, they're brothers? Okay. So why does he look like that? Like, why is he all fucked up? And the other guy looks fine.
I know, it's
Like,
that's why I was like, Stefan's like got the good genes.
yeah, I know. He's got, someone's the favorite.
I don't know if I'm stealing someone's research, but they were both in General Hospital. So they're both soap opera good looking.
Okay.
I have to look him up without the makeup on.
Yeah.
So because he's really scary. All right. My hide in the shadow was the mother's eyes comment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't in the what the fuck. It was in the hide in the shadows. That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Super weird. Okay,
Yeah.
now we're gonna head into our bonus features. Chad, why don't you start us off with some of yours?
Sure. This was the first American film to be shot in Romania, particularly in the aftermath of the fall of the communism in Romania. And then Radu is named after Radu the Handsome, brother of Romanian Prince Vlad the Impaler, who himself was the inspiration for the quintessential vampire Count Dracula.
Well, he's not handsome.
No. But in other vampire movies, like they have kind of a real look and then they have a fake look, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like they make themselves look like they're still pale and stuff, but they make themselves look like regular humans.
Yeah.
And then when they show themselves, they're actually pretty freaky.
Yeah.
In this one, he's just like that the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the creepy
Which
fingers.
I-
Like he shows up like that too.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like it would make sense if he like turned that way, like when
Yeah.
he got like when he killed his father. And
Yeah,
that's
it
the evil
started
side.
to turn evil.
But
or
no, the
whatever.
fingers were there.
Yeah,
I was
the
like-
whole time.
And
yeah.
I couldn't get over it. Sorry, when he comes out of the coffin, he comes
Yeah.
out fingers first.
Fingers first. The fingers were really the focal point of this.
And they were like kind of wobbly, like because they were too long. So when he came out, like no one gets out of bed like fingers first.
They're like the hot dog fingers from Everything Everywhere.
They
All
are.
at Once.
They're like shaky and wobbly. So upsetting. Oh, I did not like it all.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Mike, what did you have in your research?
This movie has 4 sequels, with the 5th one just being released in 2023.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. This one I just thought was kind of interesting. The movie poster has a nubile and scantily clad damsel being carried off by the subspecies, something which does not happen in the film itself, and the girl pictured is not even one of the actresses featured. Allegedly, Full Moon gained the funding for this film and sold the distribution rights at the Cannes Film Festival using the poster, and only then wrote the script.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the
I feel like
investors
that
were probably
doesn't
like,
seem
well, that was...
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they had to throw in the nipples.
Yeah, maybe,
We have to
yeah.
have something that involves these little minions and some nips.
And some nips,
And
yeah.
some nips.
Some nips.
All right, thanks for those. I had quite a few that were the same as yours, Chad.
Okay.
And then I had the minions being the live actors in costume as well. So my last one here, there was a deleted scene that had Radu turning into a rotted corpse while asleep during the day. The director actually removed it after realizing the effects didn't look very good, which I'm very curious what it looked like.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of
Yeah,
this.
if
I would
he
like
thought-
to see what that
Yes,
looked like
there's
to
no
be
way.
like, okay, this doesn't look good, as opposed to like, oh yeah, this looks good.
This is a money shot. This is what we need. So, and that's all I had. Chad, what else did you
Oh, I
find?
think I'm done. Yeah, that's good for me. I could add this one. Elements of the film, particularly the subspecies minions, are actually recycled from an unmade film called The Subterraneans, which in turn was originally to have been filmed in the 1980s by producer Charles Band's previous studio, Empire International in Rome.
I don't
Yeah.
know what to say to that. but-
Yeah, I know. Well, they
If it failed twice, don't use it for the third
yeah,
one.
it's like
Yeah,
I feel-
I don't get it. They shot that stuff and then they're like, well, I kind of want to use this footage, so let's throw it in this one, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
very passionate about it.
yeah, I really want it. Yeah.
All right, Mike.
I just have that Subspecies 1 and 2 were written and shot back to back, and sometimes concurrently. Like they did some shots for 2 while they were still filming 1. And international titles weren't great. A lot of it was kind of along the lines of just being a subspecies or other species. But Brazil, the title is Subspecies, the Vamp Generation. Denmark called it The Battle of the Vampires, which would be a very disappointing film.
Yes.
And Germany just called it Servants of Evil. So
Oh, I like Servants of. If it was about the
if it was about the subspecies,
Servants
Yeah.
of Evil isn't the worst. Oh.
That final battle looked like a Star Trek ripoff too. Like the way they were circling around each
Yeah.
other, and it was like dun 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 dun. I was like, oh my god, just hit him! Like, can't you fly? Like, what is happening? Yeah.
All right, now we're going to place this film on our watchability scale. Mike, where would you put it?
it is a 1 for me. I didn't like it. I don't find anything can salvage it. I thought maybe going 2. I was like, no, this is down at the 1 for me.
Yep, nope, that's very fair. I'm kind of on the same boat. Is it 1 or 2? I did like the scenes. It was pretty boring. I'm gonna go with a 2. I don't think it's quite the 1. I think, yeah, it's not
quite Dark Age.
It's not quite Dark Age for me. I'm gonna put it at a 2. I think I liked the scenery shots. That's mostly it. So
Yeah.
Chad.
Well, that's not enough to save it for me. It's a 1 because I can't give it a 0. It's it just was not fun. Like it tried to be too serious. If they would have made it a spoofy, goofy thing, but they tried to make a serious horror vampire film, and for me, it didn't do it at all. And so I would say there are better films out there. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much for listening to us today. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamsandstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and a page where you can recommend movies you want us to discuss. And please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Sam and
Chad.
and
Mike.
scare you later.